Hello everyone. Last time we have studied about the discrete time signals. Today we are going to see about the discrete time system. So basically, a discrete time system is a physical device or an algorithm which performs the required operations on the discrete time signal. So here is a discrete time signal systems block diagram. So here we give an input signal x of n. Here I would like to tell you that input is also known as impulse or excitation. So here we give an excitation signal. This is basically a discrete time signal. Then there is a DT system which processes the signal and then we get the output. So for this, filter is a good example of a system that is the discrete time system. So here we take the example. So here we give an x of n as an input signal. The signal is combination of signal plus noise. So we do not get an absolute signal. There is always a noise present in it. So to filter that, we will use a filter. And then we would get the output. So here the filter, here processing part would be done. So the filter will cancel or attenuate the noise of the signal, input signal. And then after the processing, its role is to cancel or attenuate the noise signal. And here we will get the output. So here the output we will get is noise free signal or the response. The output is also known as response. So this is how the discrete time system is. And yeah, when the input signal is passed through the system, then it is represented as follows, that is notion. Here is the input signal x of n, which is transformed. When processing is done, then we get y of n as an output, or this can be also written as y of n can be equal to transform of x of n. Here x need to be small. Next is the symbols used to represent the discrete time system. So the operations of discrete time system can be described by drawing the block schematics. The different building blocks are used to form a complete block schematic. So these building blocks are as follows: the adder, constant multiplier, signal multiplier, unit delay, and unit advance. We will see them one by one. So first is adder. So the adder adds two input signals or the sequences. So here it is. If we have two input signals, x1 of n and x2 of n, so we have symbol of adder like this. So when we give two impulse of signals to the adder, then the output we will get is y of n, which is equal to x1 of n plus x2 of n. So the plus symbol can also be written as, symbols are like plus or the summation sign, that is sigma. Next is, before this, there is also a subtractor, but the only difference here is, like, if we have x1 of n as one signal and x2 of n as another, then this will remain plus, but we will have to change the sign of second signal. So here that would be minus, and the output we would get is y of n, which is equals to x1 of n plus minus of x2 of n. So ultimately this will turn into y of n, which is equals to x1 of n minus x2 of n. So this is how the subtractor works. Next is the we do not require to store the previous input. So the operation of adder is memoryless operation. So this is a memoryless system. Next is the constant multiplier. So this is used to multiply the input sequence by some constant a. The input sequence by a constant a. So a could be any number, that is constant number, like 2, 4, 6, 8, minus 9, 11, whatever. So here it can be represented as such, like we are giving an input signal, input response like this, and we are getting output y of n is equals to, and here is the a, which is the constant. It is being multiplied by the signal, and we are getting a x of n. So it will just normally multiply like the number. So this is the constant multiplier. So that means this operation is used to change the amplitude of the input sample. So only the change in amplitude is there. Then next is signal multiplier. So as the name indicates, this block is used to multiply two input sequences. So here is the block diagram. Like its symbol is multiplication across in a circle. So here this is represented. Here there is one input, this input signal x1 of n, and here it is another x2 of n. The output which we will get is y of n, which is equals to x1 of n into x2 of n. Here the two signals would get multiplied. Again, this is a memoryless operation. Then fourth is unit delay. So unit means one, a single, unity. So this is simple. Here this block is used to delay input sequence by one sample. So this block is used to delay input sequence by one sample. So here is the block diagram. X of n is the input signal. Here is the block. Here is the output. So the block will show as follows. So here is the output. That is, if input signal is x of n, then it will be delayed by one sample. So it would be n minus 1. So input sequence of x of n is the input sequence is x of n, and the delayed version is x of n minus 1. So this indicates the calculation of the output at particular instant that needs to be previous input. So here x of n is the present input and the x of n minus 1 is the previous input. So for example, let us say that we want to calculate an output at n is equals to 0. So we have to put the number n is equals to 0. So here it is like y of 0 is equals to x of 0 minus 1. So instead of n we will put 0 at this sequence. So ultimately we will get x of minus 1. So so here the x of minus 1 is the previous input compared to the x of 0. So in this operation, every time we require to store the previous input in the memory. So it is not the memoryless operation. And if we have to delay a signal by two samples, so it can be done as follows. Here is the x of n as the input. Here we will require two blocks. First delay, then second delay. So the final output is y of n is equals to x of n minus 2. So this will break as x. Here the y of n would be x of n minus 1, and at this point, after this point, the output would be y of n is equal to x of n minus 1 minus 1. So which is ultimately equal to x of n minus 2. I hope you got this. Next is unit advance. So the function of this block is to advance the input sequence by one sample. So here's the block diagram. So we are given an input z. Here is an input signal. So when we excite, here the excitation of input signal is done. Here is the unit advance block, and here output we would get is y of n is equal to x of n plus 1. So equation can be written as y of n is equal to x of n plus 1. So to calculate the output at n is equals to 0, so we have to put n is equals to 0 in this equation. So it is not necessary that always we have to find the output at n is equals to 0. It could be anything like n is equals to 0, 1, 2, minus 1, etc. So for this, y of 0 is equals to x of 0 plus 1. The output is x of 0 plus 1, which is equals to x of 1. So to calculate the output at n is equals to 0, we have to put the value of n is equals to 0 at this equation. So y of 0 is equals to x of 0 plus 1, which is equals to x of 1. So here, ultimately, that means that present output of y of 0, we are not making use of any present input, that is x of 0, but we want input x of 1. So here x of 1 is the future input corresponding to the x of 0. So thus the operation to calculate the y of n, a future input sample, is required. So this is not practically possible. So this operation is not realizable in practice. So this is only a concept and also not realized as the daily practice. As we cannot find the future sample. I hope you got this. Thank you.